Another wonderful moment to read another chapter of Swami Anand Arun's book, Lone Seeker, Many Masters. This chapter will be the 19th chapter, and it will be about Yashodhara, which is or was the wife of Buddha Shakyamuni. Yashodhara. Yashodhara was a rare flowering, but she has been unjustly confined to the oblivious pages of history. Pushing her into obscurity, Buddhism has not only undermined her glory, but also deprived many seekers of understanding an integral part of Buddha's life. There is only a painting, and actually it's about Buddha, but I show it to you nevertheless. Yeah. Okay. Around 2,500 years and 50 years ago, on the beautiful full moon night of Vaisak, two beautiful souls descended on earth. Siddhartha Gautam was born in the forest of Lumbini, and his wife-to-be was born in the royal palace of the Koili dynasty in Devdaha. Yashodhara grew up in a very loving atmosphere in the palace of the Koilis and enjoyed as much comfort as did Siddhartha. She grew up to be extremely beautiful. She was adept at playing the veena and was full of compassion. As she grew up, she started receiving marriage proposals from many princes. By then, Siddhartha had already earned the reputation of a sensitive prince who disappeared regularly and meditated under a tree for hours. Everyone thought that one day he would become a renunciate. Despite knowing all this and being warned by her family, she chose Siddhartha as her husband. After Siddhartha left the palace to devote himself completely to self-realization, she brought up Rahul, their son, with great love and care. She also served King Suddhodan and Prajapati Gautami and supported them emotionally. The famous Vietnamese Buddhist scholar Thich Nhat Hanh and Osho both agree on the fact that Yashodhara constantly inspired Buddha to remain diligent on his path and not be lured by worldly desires. On the day he left the palace, she prepared his horse Kantak and made sure that his charioteer Chantak slept in the palace itself. Before he left, Buddha came to see his wife and newly born son. According to traditional Buddhist literature, the gods came and covered Rahul's face with Yashodhara's shawl, but Osho and Thich Nhat Hanh say that Yashodhara had been awake and she knowingly covered the face of the child and her own self as well, so that Siddhartha would not be distracted from the path of salvation. There is a heartfelt instance of Buddha returning to Kapilavastu 7 years after he left his palace in search of truth. When Suddhodan heard that his son was residing in the Venuban forest of the nearby town of Rajgriha on the invitation of King Bimbisar, he sent Buddha's childhood friend Channa and his minister Kaljai to invite him back home. When Channa and Kaljai reached Venuban, they were received graciously. Buddha asked about everybody in the palace. How is Rahul? How is the health of father and mother? And how is Yashodhara? They said, all are deeply grieved by your departure because they miss you very much. We are here to bring to you the invitation to come to Kapilavastu. Just Buddha came to Kapilavastu after his monsoon retreat at Venuban and stayed in a garden named Niyagrodha. Early in the morning, Buddha entered the town of Kapilavastu to beg for alms. When King Suddhodan heard of this, he mounted his chariot and begged to welcome his son. Suddhodan saw his son begging in front of a house. He stopped his chariot at a distance and watched a woman drop a potato into Buddha's begging bowl, after which he moved to the next house to beg. When he could no longer bear to watch his son begging, he got down from his chariot and called Buddha. Siddhartha, he said loudly. Buddha graciously paid his respects to his father. Suddhodan was overcome by the love for his son and wanted to hug him dearly, but he immediately realized that Siddhartha was not just his son, but had also become a great saint. Thus he gestured respectfully to the overwhelming presence of Buddha and said, As you already know, no one in our lineage has ever begged for food. Why do you go begging from house to house? All facilities are available in the palace. Let's go there. Buddha listened to his father mindfully and said, Revered king, I no more belong to the lineage of the Shakyas, but to the lineage of the Buddhas. And in the lineage of the Buddhas, there has always been a tradition of begging for alms. There is no better method than this to melt the ego. After this, Buddha went to the Kapilavastu palace with Suddhodan. His presence brought great joy there. All the members of the royal family welcomed Buddha. Only Yashodhara was not there. When Buddha had met everyone, he asked, "Where is Yashodhara?" Prajapati Gautami said, "Yashodhara feels that if she is virtuous enough, then Siddhartha will go and meet her by himself." When Buddha heard this, he went to meet Yashodhara with Sariputra, Mahamodgaryan, and King Suddhodan. On the way, he said to Sariputra, "I am free of attachments, but Yashodhara is still deeply attached to me. If she hugs me and starts crying, then please let her express her sorrow." As soon as Yashodhara saw Siddhartha, her love for him exploded, and she grabbed his feet and started to cry. Seeing this, King Suddhodan said, "This is not an expression of just this moment, it is the result of deep love for you. She had lived here the same way as you have in the forest. Hearing that you ate only one meal a day, she started doing the same. She started sleeping on the floor when she heard that you did not use a bed. And when she heard that you only wore a robe, she donated all her expensive clothes and started wearing simple clothes. When you left, she got marriage proposals from many princes, but she refused them outright and said, 'I have been born for Siddhartha and I will die for him.' He will surely come to meet me one day." After she had regained herself, she asked Buddha a very thoughtful question. "The truth that you experienced on the bank of the Niranjana river under the Bodhi tree, is the truth not here? Could you not have realized the truth here?" It is said that Buddha remained silent as he couldn't answer this question. He then said, "You are my Punya Salila. I can never forget your help. We have been together for many lives." After saying this, he gathered everyone around the Chamun tree where he had many experience of meditation in his childhood and told them a story. Once upon a time, in the plains below the Himalayas, lived a poor but kind-hearted, hard-working and honest man named Meg. He was satisfied with whatever he earned by doing menial labor. Once he reached the capital city ruled by King Dipati, and he saw preparations being made for a grand event. There he also saw a beautiful young woman to whom he was immensely attracted. She was walking towards him with a lotus flower in her hand. Meg asked her what the celebrations were for, and she answered, "The famous Acharya Dipankara Buddha has come to town. This is the welcoming ceremony for him." Meg said, "I also want to have darshan of Dipankara Buddha, but I don't want to go empty-handed to him. I have very little money. I will buy some flowers and come along with you." Meg searched all around but couldn't find any flowers for sale. The townsfolk had bought all the flowers to present to Dipankara Buddha. Giving up the quest, Meg asked of the young woman, "Please take this money and give me a few petals of your flower." The woman said, "I cannot sell this because I have bought it to present it to the Buddha, but take half of it so you can present it to the Buddha as well." Meg was an honest man, so he was not ready to take the flower without payment. He said, "You have to take something in return for the flower." The woman was greatly impressed by Meg's honesty, and so she said, "I'm feeling a mysterious and strong attraction to you. I not only want to give you this flower, but also my whole life. I am as pure and virgin as this flower, and want to surrender myself at your feet." Meg was also greatly attracted by the girl's simplicity and beauty, and so he said, "We must have been related to each other in many past lives. Nothing else can explain this uncannily strong pull we feel towards each other." Meg added, "But look, beautiful, I have already made up my mind to walk on the path of truth. I want to be a sannyasin of Dipankara Buddha. I am a very poor man. I cannot make you happy by marrying you." The woman answered, "I feel that I have been born for you, and I want to travel with you for life. I will only help you on your path and will not be a hindrance." Meg's heart was also not ready to let her go, so he agreed to the woman's proposal with great joy. Both arrived at Dipankara Buddha Sangha and paid respects to him by placing the lotus flower at his feet. Dipankara Buddha was very happy to see them and said, "May both your wishes come true. May you will become enlightened in your next life, and thousands will seek solace in you." He said to the woman, "Beautiful one, you will be Meg's beloved in this life and the next, and you will have to become an inspiration for his freedom rather than becoming the object of his attachment. This is my blessing. You two are beloveds of life." After telling this story, Siddhartha said, "I was Meg and Yashodhara, you were his consort. We have been together for lives, and you have always helped me in my meditation and never hindered me in any way." After hearing this, all of Yashodhara's sorrows melted away and her face radiated a divine aura. Rahul was only 7 when he decided to become a bhikkhu. Yashodhara did not stop him, rather she herself expressed her desire to be initiated, but as Buddha did not initiate women in those days, she remained uninitiated. When Suddhodan died, Buddha's aunt and stepmother Prajapati Gautami shaved her head, wore the ochre robe, and went to Vaishali asking Buddha to initiate her. Anand, his caretaker, also spoke strongly in favor of initiating women into the Sangha. Buddha reluctantly initiated Prajapata Gautami. This is when Yashodhara also became initiated as woman, could now enter the Sangha. Yashodhara never demanded to be known or respected as Buddha's wife and lived the simplest of lives. She used to clean and take care of the sick in the Sangha. Rahul, after his Arhatva, had already become one of the 10 chief acharyas. Also being the wife of Buddha and the mother of one of the chief acharyas, Yashodhara decided to keep a low profile. She dissolved herself completely in the Buddha Sangha. The conversation Yashodhara had with her beloved on the full moon day of Baisak, when she was 78 in the Benuban forest of Rajkriya, is very touching. She had said to Buddha, "Now I have become old and all my body parts are tired. I have fulfilled my innate duties as the princess of Koalis, crown princess of the Shakyas, and the bhikkhuni of the Buddha Sangha. I have remembered my past lives. In many of them I have served you in some form or other with total devotion and love. In this life you accepted me as your wife, gave me a son, and as a master you guided me to enlightenment. I have no more desires left. With your permission I want to leave my body. If I have made any mistake in my life, please forgive me." She then went around Buddha 3 times and went to her hut to light an oil lamp. Then she thanked Buddha and left her body in a peaceful state. After Yashodhara left her body, Buddha praised her while addressing his Sangha. Yashodhara was an exceptional sadhika. Also she was a beautiful princess. She did not have any trace of ego. She fulfilled all her duties as a wife, mother and daughter-in-law honestly. She had the compassion to serve the sick and needy since childhood, and she served the sick of the Buddha Sangha with the same compassionate heart. She felt blessed doing the simplest chores, such as sweeping the floor and doing the dishes. Once she was initiated, she quietly performed her role as an ideal bhikkhuni. Buddha himself was full of appreciation for her, and yet Buddhist scholars have forgotten Yashodhara. She has been unjustly confined to the oblivious pages of history. The renowned Buddhist scholar Bhikkhu Amritananda, who has written rare Buddhist texts in Nepali, has only included Suchata, Bishaka, Shyamvati, Susuptabhasa, Supriya, Uttarandmata, Kachutara, Kalyayini, Nukulmata, and Kalyopasika as the 10 main Buddhist bhikkhunis, totally disregarding Yashodhara. I am often moved to tears when I read the accounts of Yashodhara's selfless and unceasing devotion to Buddha. Pushing her into obscurity, Buddhism has not only undermined a woman who was a rare flowering, but also deprived many seekers from understanding an integral part of Buddha's life.